I will show you the way of the Druid Staff. I will show you the way of the Cursed Staff. What, you don't think that's funny?
Are you recording this?
Of course. Alright, welcome back, Albion Onliners. My name is Nevaduck, and this is my build for the Adept Nature Staff, coupled with the Cursed Staff. Let's get into this right now. Alright, so what I was thinking of is I wanted to have a character that I could heal with, and then a lot of times everybody's afraid of this Nature Staff in a 5-man PvE instance. They're constantly saying, it can't keep up, you definitely want to go holy. Well, now I've used it enough to know that you have to be good with it and it can keep up. You'll be able to do 5-mans, you just have to know what you're doing. You have to set yourself up and you have to be proactive. I played World of Warcraft for a long time and I was a Druid healer. And the Druid healer in World of Warcraft is pretty much the same thing. You put heal over times, which I'm going to call HOTS, on a player, and they just keep ticking. And then sometimes certain ones of those heal over times interact with other spells to make them stronger. And that's how the Druid healer heals. So it's got a couple cool dynamics. So your first ability right here heals a target for 15 hit points per second for 8 seconds. The spell can be stacked up to 3 times. If it is applied on a maximum stacks, all stacks are consumed and you restore 21 energy. This is a really, really cool spell. So if I heal myself once, it's ticking, and then I heal myself again, it gets stronger. And then I heal myself a 3rd time, it gets even stronger. And then if I heal myself a 4th time, it gives me all of my energy back. Well, 21%. So the way you use this is you get it on there, try to keep 3 stacks on the tank, and then try to let it almost run out because you want that mana back. So right before it ends, you want to pop it and get your mana back. All right, so that is definitely a key dynamic because you've got some pretty heavy hitting spells that you need quite a bit of energy to actually use. Rejuvenating Mushroom, that'll unlock later. I'm definitely interested in working with that. It seems like a really good spell to just plop down on the ground. It does the same thing, gives stacks of this, but it doesn't return the mana. Costs 13 energy, and it heals up to 5 allies. So you can set this off to the side and let people run over and jump in it when they need heals. Now, the hardest part about this is you cannot force people to get into that. You can tell them, you can say, hey, don't forget to step in the mushroom if you need healing, but it's on them. And in 5-mans, you're probably going to be better off using this if you're with a bunch of random people, if you're with guildies, if you're on Discord or whatever voiceover comms you use, you could probably get away with this or get away with mushrooms and tell them to stand in them. Great for big groups as well, so you can just plop it in the middle, heal 5 of the lowest allies, stuff like that. You're not going to use Poison Thorns. Great spell for soloing actually, so you could so it's the same thing, it stacks up to 3 times just like this, but it does damage over time, so a dot. That damage over time, and so it's an AoE too. So you can stack this up 3 times and just stand there healing yourself, then refresh it, heal yourself until everything dies. So you can pull a lot of mobs with this and then just keep healing yourself and keep yourself from dying. In normal circumstances, you're going to use this. Revitalize your allies directly by restoring 105 health immediately, and then 9 seconds for 5 seconds. So this is kind of like a nuke, so it'll give you a good heal, 105, so roughly on a tank, probably 10% health, but then it's going to give more healing over time after that. This right here, this cleanse is nice too. Heals a friendly target for 17 per second for 4 seconds. Also removes any movement impairing and debuff effect from the target and allies in close proximity. Doesn't remove damage over time spells. Okay, so this is a nice spell because it basically will get people out of crowd control. Any movement impairing, so a slow, so a stun, anything like that. The other option to get people out of those is this right here, Cleanse. So you can couple this with PvP. Cleanse is an AoE where this right here, Cleanse Heal, is actually a single target. So this doesn't go on several people. So it is viable to take both if you're going into PvP. So then you can, if somebody's out of position and they're locked down, you can Cleanse Heal them versus trying to stand over them and drop your cleanse on them. Now this is your nuke. This is where you get people topped off. So heals up to 5 allies in an 11 meter radius around the caster, and the healing strength depends on the rejuvenation stacks on each ally, consuming all charges on the healed allies. So if I stack 3 of these on me, I'll do this over here. So now I'm ticking at 69 here, and then I'm gonna pop this on me, which, boom. Okay, so I missed my heal stack, and it only healed me for 144. So let me stack this up again, and I'll do it right away. All right, and it's almost off cooldown. Here we go. Boom, right there, almost 500 health. So about a third of my health. It'll be about a fourth of a tank's health, and at the same level. So that's your nuke. That's how you keep the tank alive. This spell right here, keeping those stacks on them, and then popping your nuke. So there. So between these 3 heals, you'll be able to keep a tank up. If DPS needs more than 1 or 2 of these, it's on them. They're out of position, they're standing and stuff, and maybe you should just let them die. Because healing priority is keep yourself up, keep the tank up, keep everybody else up. DPS, it's on them not to try to tunnel and kill things. They should be moving out of the way of stuff. Alright, so every 4 active spells, your heals become 20% stronger. Buff lasts for 3 seconds. So if I do 1, 2, 3, and then I pop my big spell, that consumes that stack, and my spell is 20% stronger. So, which is pretty awesome. That's how it heals up around 500. The other option is if you're having energy problems, again, make sure you're pulling your stacks off if you don't need to pop this on somebody, and that'll give you back more energy. Or you can take this and just normal attack. So every normal attack restores 3 energy, which is quite a bit because you do have a little bit of downtime since you don't have any. This is your longest cast spell, and it's 1 second. Everything else is instant cast, so it's definitely worth it. And then every 5 activated spells, your resistances are increased by 61% for 3 seconds. Might be good in PvP. Not that big a deal, I don't think. The key thing is if you're using your passives, you need to know where you're at on passives and what they do. So like this, you need to know that your 4th heal, every time it gets to 4, so you got to glance up and see where it is. It's going to be even stronger. So if you need your 4th heal to be an AoE, you're going to want to use this. If you need your 4th heal to be this, you need to use that, and make sure you pump out a couple extra ones of these if you have time to get there. Use your build, use your toolkit completely. You got to know what it can do. All right, so then the chest, I just took the standard frost shield. Double your cast speed and decreases energy cost by 40%. If you're having energy problems, again, you can use this. But we don't have any long cast stuff, so it's not really that great. I'm still open to suggestions on a better chest piece. I want to keep this, keep cloth, because it does increase my damage and my healing power. And then of course you got cast speed, which Druid Staff does not need. And again, the leather helm, this is nice because it gives you a balance. It gives you 1.5% healing and damage, and incoming damage is reduced by 1%, which is nice. Again, we don't need the attack speed either. Cat's getting up here. And then, of course, my favorite boots, which I use on all my builds. It gives me shield charge, and actually, luckily, I am able to make these for the guild, so I'm all the way up to tier 5 already. But anyways, it gives me shield charge. With this, the way you use it is you dive into a group of your own players, is what you want to do, where the biggest clump is or where the biggest need is. So if you're going to use this to buff, shield the tank, just to get your heal over times, your hots to a little bit more time to work, then you're just going to target the tank, press that button, and dive into them. this is not that great. You need a little bit of heals, it's going to be worthless on you. This, if you need to get out of the way, again, it's not that great. This is your best bet for repositioning. You can even dive to another player. So if you need to get that last heal off, you can target one of your players that's not in like incoming damage. Like if there's a area of effect damage going to drop on your head, you can target him and bounce out. And again, toughness, reduce that damage so you aren't constantly dying. Now, what I liked about the synergy between the Nature Staff and the Curse Staff is both weapons are instant casts. And then I'm using a horn. You can use a torch too if this is too expensive, or if you're going through gear in PvP, because it does give you the cooldown modifier. And that's what I wanted, was the cooldown modifier. The torch, on the other hand, does give you a little bit of a cooldown. Let's see, what does it do again? This gives you a 3.1% cooldown at tier 4, and it gives you attack speed. So I guess you could use the torch if you're going to do a lot of auto attacks, just to return energy. So that might be a viable way to go. I found the relic piece, this on the auction house, for real cheap, so I decided to go try this out. You can use the book, but there's just not enough long cast speeds where you need to reduce that. So I feel the reduced cooldown is a lot better, so my abilities come up quicker. Alright, so I keep everything pretty much the same. On this, I might take Speedcaster just for that energy cost reduction, but normally I would take this for the tankiness. Again, you don't need the increased speed. You definitely want the extra damage. Here, I've been taking the energy drain in 5-mans because you just don't, and the 5-man expeditions, because you just don't need the cleanse. In PvP, I might run cleanse or the howl for the slow, so if you need to kite somebody. And again, balanced mind is the best way to go, because you don't need that attack speed at all. And then of course, my favorite boots, shield charge definitely comes in handy, PvP and PvE. And then toughness, again, make me a little bit more tanky. Keeping everything pretty much stays the same for me. I'm sure there are maybe some things that I could change up and make it a little bit more optimal, but I feel like this gives me the best of both worlds, whether I'm using my damage or I'm using my instant casts. Alright, so you got a couple options here. So you can place this is more for your single target, so and which I would recommend in 5-mans. If you get your damage over time spells on a bunch of enemies too quickly, there's no way your tank's going to be able to keep them from turning around and just eating you. So you're better off using this. Attack the mob the tank's attacking, know the order that they're killing stuff in, and then this right here kind of throws something on everybody. So this is great for PvP because it gets your dots on a bunch of different people, and you can send this out up to 4 times. So definitely a good way to go if you've got multiple people you're trying to hit. This right here helps your group. It basically brings down the resistance and armor. All enemies take hit. Armor and magic resistance is reduced by 46 for 8 seconds. So if you could pop that on somebody, that helps out really well. This is just straight damage. Probably if you're just AoE farming or farming by yourself, might be the way to go. And then Desecrate creates a desecrating wave that roots all enemies, hits for 4 seconds, and applies a vile curse to them. So this would actually be good if you were out farming mobs by yourself. Get that on them. Maybe have your howl up so you can kite them really well. So there's a bunch of cool abilities in here. And then this right here, the Death Curse, is what I like because it's single target focused, and usually you're going to have a kill target in PvE or PvP, so that's who you're going to apply this to. You're not going to need so much of an AoE. And then also when you're in the dungeons and the 5-mans, what my experience is, tanks are not good at managing aggro. So if you've got an AoE that you're trying to hit people with, you're just going to keep ripping off them, and you're either going to die or you're going to probably wish you had ice block or something along those lines to survive. But anyways, that's there. Then here, every normal attack restores 3 energy. It is pretty heavy energy wise for a build. And then you can always do this. Every 4 normal attacks gives you another does a little explosion on the enemies. So again, the abilities are either built around AoE fighting or single target fighting. I do recommend feigning more towards single target, mainly because of the dynamics of pulling off the tank, but you can switch them up constantly. And then the last part is every 5 activated spells, all your damage gets increased by 10% for 4 seconds. So keep in mind, again, you gotta watch your, like if you take something like this, or if you take something like this, you've got to pay attention up here to your stacks to interact with these, to be basically as efficient as possible. Don't just take a passive and then ignore it. You can play that way, but if you want to get to the next level, if you want to be killing people quickly, that's the meta. That's what you have to pay attention to. If you want to get to the next level, just paying attention to that could mean a 1v1 kill versus not killing somebody. So just remember that. And let me show off this ability. So here's your reticle, and it basically starts to sift out there and comes back towards me. So it's pretty cool. If you needed to go farther, what you would do is you say, let me find another rabbit. Where's the rabbit? Okay, say this rock is the person we're attacking, and I want it to go that way and go farther. So I go like this, and see how farther it goes. It goes a lot farther that way. So if you place it behind you, see that? And it just keeps going a lot farther. So like directly behind you, and it'll go farther. Versus pulling it, I mean, I guess it actually goes the whole entire, okay, it goes the whole entire distance of the reticle. So, it is what it is. Alright, so mainly, tell me what you think about this build. Let me know if you have any suggestions. If you think it will help you, good. If this kind of meets your playstyle with what you like to do, awesome. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Later.